The French, what the fuck do they know about brewing beer?
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I am doing something here that I vowed I would never do, and that's drink French beer. Now, in my defence, this beer doesn't come from mainland France. It comes from Corsica, and Corsica is obviously an island in the Mediterranean off the coast of Spain. And I've been to Sardinia, which is the neighbouring island, which belongs to Italy, and never been to Corsica. But I've spoken to people from Sardinia, and they consider people from Corsica as their brothers. You know, very similar. But I've been told, and I don't know, but I've been told the Corsicans have the same philosophy when it comes to France. They don't consider themselves French. They sort of want to consider themselves independent, so I'll give them a squeeze on this. But the unique thing about this is it's brewed with chestnut flour. What is chestnut flour? Well, chestnut flour is something that was considered years ago. It's considered to be peasant food, and it was a substitute for normal wheat flour. And where chestnuts grew in abundance, I don't think it's the same as what we got over here. We call them conkers over here, but we call other things conkers as well. When you've been kicked in the conkers, you know about it. But chestnuts grow in abundance over in France and in Corsica, obviously. And they ground it up and they used it as a flour. Now, I don't know who discovered it, but chestnut flour or chestnuts were found to be fermentable. So they were used as an ingredient in beer, and that's what you've got here. This is, I think it could be considered gluten-free, but I'm not sure what the amount of normal malt is in this, so I'm going to say that with caution. I would say it's probably a reduced gluten beer, not a gluten-free beer. But the qualities of chestnut flour have been discovered now, and believe it or not, it's quite sought after in sort of health food circles and high-end cuisine. Believe it or not, I don't know why, but it used to be peasant food. You know, maybe one day beer will take over wine as being the champagne of the working class, as I am advocating. Anyway, but it intrigued me. The ingredients intrigued me, and you know, if they're anything like the Sardinians, who I absolutely love, I think I've been there. I love the place. The people are fantastic. Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what this is, and I wanna break that hoodoo of every French beer that I've drunk has been absolute dog shit. You know, whether it's the little dumpies you get from the booze cruises, or even like the Kronenberg or the Bière de Garde. Honestly, I've not had a good one. My philosophy is with the French, stick to fucking making wine. Stop bothering us, real men. Anyway, let's get this investigated. Right, Magoo will don the bins because Magoo is fucking blind without them. Right, this is called Bière Corsa, beer of Corsica, or Corsican beer, Pietra. I'm going to pronounce that Pietra, I'm not sure what it is. Bière Ambre. And apparently the amber colour comes from the chestnut. The chestnut ingredients. I've had to had to adjust the lighting, i.e. pull the fucking curtains over to read it. And do you know what? Them bastards have put it all in French. Fucking inconsiderate. It's a 330ml bottle and it's 6%. Whoa, get you froggies. Right, let's get it open and let's see what is going on. I'll take the bins off first so I can smell better without the bins on, you know what I mean? Right, cap is off. There is the cap here. Why am I putting on a fucking German accent for French beer? Honestly, not taking the piss. Don't know if you can see that, because I fucking can't. There you go, on the nose, out of the bottle. Whoa. That smells of really strong malt. Strong, sweet caramel, almost toffee malt. It's got like a woody sort of aroma to it. And almost meaty, if you like. That smells intriguing, that does. It's like, honestly, it's like a roast beef type aroma. That is amazing. Woody roast beef, caramel malt, and a bit of a smoky aroma. That smells intriguing. Let's get it in the glass and see what's going on. Now, as I said, that is an amber colour, or it should pour an amber colour, and it has. Chestnut flower is renowned for its head retention as well, so we'll put that to the test too. There it is. Looks okay, and as they say, it is an amber colour. Cannot argue with that. Fair bit of carbonation on the nose. Yeah, it's got that same sort of aroma, and it's reminded me, I tried that Lagudale, do you remember that, the Bière de Garde, and it had, if I remember rightly, it had elements of that sort of smell in it too. It's like a meaty, woody, roasted sweetness to it. Interesting. Let's get it down the hatch. What was it the French say? Santé or something. Or salud. No, salud is the Italian. Santé, I'll say that and get it down the hatch. Wish me luck. Not a fan of French beer. That is interesting. Yeah, that has got very strong roasted caramel flavours to it. A little touch of spirit alcohol on that. There's a sweetness to it that, and this is apparently brewed with only natural ingredients, but there's an ingredient in there that is common in French beer, and I've had this in the, as I say, the Bière de Garde that I've tried, and I wasn't really a fan, but this is slightly different. I'm assuming this is a bottom fermented beer, but it's tasting like a top fermenter. There is a lot of caramel, what I'm perceiving to be caramel malt. Now whether that's just pale malt and that, you know, chestnut flour on top of it, which is fermentable apparently, is giving it that flavour, and it gives it the colour as well too apparently. That's definitely different. The aromas, I will say, the aromas are really strong from this, and it's like a really strong amber ale. Which I have to say is not the worst beer in the world that I've tasted. Now they're not defining this as a lager or, you know, anything specific. Hang on, let me. I'm trying to fucking look for me bins because I ain't me bins. Fucking hell! No wonder they call me Magoo. Yeah, it's just been sort of designated as bière Ambre. Yeah, I've not got any sort of concrete information on that, whether it's a lager, but I'm assuming it's a bottom fermented lager. And oh, by the way, Pietra in the Corsican language means stone, and yeah, it's definitely different. But then I wouldn't expect anything less from French beer. It's got like a woody, earthy type character to it. There's a sweet caramel malt on there. Now, I don't know whether that's the chestnut flour. This is the first beer I've tried that's got chestnut flour in it. But it's definitely interesting. Do I like it? Well, you'd have to wait to see what the verdict is. So what's the verdict? Well, I didn't have high hopes for it because it came from France. And as I said, the French are shit at brewing beer. Yeah, they can brew wine or distill. What do you do with wine? Do you distill it? Do you brew it? I don't know. I don't care. I fucking hate wine. But this is probably the first beer from France. Or can you call it France? Well, I suppose you can, technically. That isn't a pour down the sink job. I quite like this. It's not bad. And, you know, kudos to them for using chestnut flour. You know, who knew that was fermentable? It's a bottom fermented beer, but it tastes like a top fermenter. That tastes like a really flavoursome golden ale. And it's 6% as well, so it's got a little bit of a kick in it. I don't think it's that bad. So what would I give it out of 10? Well, that's a difficult one. I don't think I could drink a lot of this. I like the, you know, the flavours that are in there, but on a night out, this would be a little bit too much for me, I think. Not just because of the ABV. I mean, that doesn't bother me, to be honest. But there is that uniquely different. Is that even a correct phrase? I don't know. But it's got a unique flavour with that chestnut flour. And I quite like it, but I don't think I could drink too much of it. For that reason, I'll give it 7 out of 10. I want to recommend it. Well, if you've never tasted chestnut flour in a beer, then yeah, go for it. It's quite cheap. It was £2 something a bottle. I'd say try it once, just to say, you know, you've had beer with chestnut flour in it. And the bottle's quite nice. It's got a nice coloured label on it, and there's a nice cap there too. But if you're not a fan of French beer, then I'd say avoid. Then if you're not a fan of, you know, snazzy different type beers. I suppose chestnut flower could be classed as an adjunct. So, you know, if you're not a fan of beer with adjuncts in it, then I wouldn't buy it. But yeah, one bottle, just to say you tasted it, yeah, not bad. 7 out of 10, recommended with caution. And remember, beer is working class champagne.